Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lahu wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'd. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise be to Allah. We praise Him. We ask for His help. We ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the wickedness of ourselves and from the badness of our deeds. Whoever been given by Allah guidance, then nobody can be a misguider for him. And whoever been misguided by Allah, then nobody can be a guider for him. I bear witness, there's no God worthy to worship except Allah. Only Him, no associate for Him. And I bear witness, there's Muhammad, His messenger, His servant. Oh Allah, give good prayers upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. They will give good prayers upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. Oh Allah, bless upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and bless upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. Verily you are most worthy of praises and most exalted in nobility. Today, inshallah, I will be substituting our Sheikh, for he actually traveling right now, for our topic, Don't Be Sad. So last time, our Sheikh arrived at page number 79. But actually he stopped in the middle of the paragraph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 paragraph, before 2 paragraph of the end of the book, the page. So as the topic is actually smile, I think I will read from the beginning, inshallah, so that we will not stop only at the middle of the topic. Okay, smile is among the things that will help you to not be sad. Is actually smile. Only that here in this topic, as I read from the author, he actually just didn't focus on smiling, but he also inside the topic of smile, laughter, to laugh. So we will start from the beginning. He said, smile. Laughing moderately can act as a cure and as therapy for depression and sadness. It has a strong influence on keeping the soul light and heart clear. And the heart clear. Abu Darda, may Allah be upon him, upon the companion of the Prophet Sallam, upon the teacher of Quran at the time of the Prophet, he said, I make it a practice to laugh in order to give rest and comfort to my heart. And the noblest of people, Muhammad SAW, would laugh sometimes until his smaller become visible. Means that this action being done is not similar like in yoga. You know, in yoga, the Indian practice of exercise, some of them is actually really laughing just to get, I don't know what they get, because the laughing is actually, sometimes they make the sound of lion, and sometimes they make a certain sound. But I do look into some of the documentaries about yoga, and they has a practice about gathering around and laugh. Not because of anything, just laugh with all your heart. There's a practice there, but we does not understand the saying of Abu Darda. Basically, Abu Darda, he is actually one of the most hardworking among the companion doing act of worship. Abu Darda radhiallahu anhu, he was the guy that being corrected by Salman al-Farisi when he start to fasting every day, reciting the Quran, finishing the Quran every day, and also waking up all night long just to recite the Quran. So Salman al-Farisi taught him, because he and Salman was made by the Prophet to become brother, because the Muhajirin and Ansar, one who migrate to Medina, and the people of Medina, at first of the migration, the Prophet made some of them to become brothers with the other one, so that we ease up the one that migrate to Medina to begin their new life. So Salman al-Farisi being brothered by the Prophet ﷺ with Abu Darda. So Abu Darda, when we are looking into what he's saying here inside this hadith, because he relate what he did to the Prophet, peace be upon him, so it become hadith. So when he said that I practice to laugh, because he actually from the side of character, he's the one that, like I said, will wake up all night to recite the Quran, finishing the recitation of the Quran every day, fasting. And even when Salman al-Farisi tried to correct him, give advice for him, Salman was actually staying at his house and advising him, because his wife Darda was going out of the house wearing harsh clothes, working clothes, and lefting like the husband doesn't want to meet her anymore. So Salman corrected Abu Darda by saying, you upon yourself you have the rights to do, and upon your family, your wife, you have a right to do, upon your neighbors, upon your guests. So because when he go into worship, act of worship continuously, he start to not having any connection with other human. So when we recite this hadith or this saying, I practice to laugh, because the character that he have to practice. But some people doesn't have to practice, they always laughing. He actually have to practice because of his character, because his character was so harsh, so he go into act of worship until he doesn't do things that really related to his wife or to his guest. Because Salman, when want to correct him, Salman was take an oath upon the name of Allah, he will not eat until Abu Darda break his fast. And when Salman was sleeping in his house, after Isha, Abu Darda start to pray. Salman said, sleep. Commanded him to sleep. On the beginning of the night. And after that, when Abu Darda want to wake up and pray in the middle of the night, half of the night, Salman said to him, go sleep. Only the last third of the night, Salman give permission for him to pray. He actually, when being stopped by Salman, he went to the Prophet, because he claimed that Salman is stopping him from the act of worship. So Rasulullah SAW, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that Sadaqah Salman has been right. Salman is right when he's stopping you from that. So basically, when he said here, I'm practicing laughing, because you have to know the character of this guy. The character is always serious, always act of worship. Doesn't play around with children, and even the wife is actually going outside the house, because he doesn't want to have anything intimacy with the wife until that certain degree. That's why when he said, I practice to laugh, because of that, because it will make the heart become comfort the heart. And when they said about this, then he said the Prophet, the noblest people is the Prophet ﷺ, sometimes laugh until his smaller become visible. So laughing is an efficacious way to achieve comfort and light-heartedness. But keep in mind that as in other things, you should not be immoderate. So laughing must be moderate. Like eating, like having fun or anything. Even actually inside there, anything, some food should moderate. Even in the act of worship. Even in the act of worship, they have moderation. Sometimes some people say no moderation in act of worship. But we did see the Prophet ﷺ stop few of his companion from continuously to pray in the night, continuously fasting every day. Or some of them even doesn't want to get married to a woman because want to devote themselves into act of worship. So the Prophet stopped them from that. Even the story of Abu Darda is actually about moderation. When I said about Salman taught him about that, about not to pray all the time, not to fast or every day. It's about moderation. So not only in this, for everything is actually moderation. The Prophet SAW, blessed and peace upon him, said, "Do not laugh excessively, for verily excessive laughter kills the heart." This is a sound hadith, Sahih hadith, narrated by At-Tirmidhi. Check it just now. At-Tirmidhi, hadith number 2305. 2305. So it's a sound hadith. Because excessive laughter will kill heart. What is called for moderation? So what is the state of moderation? He said here, what is called for is moderation. Means that what is being in everything, in playing, even in everything, is actually moderation is being imposed by Islam. He said here, and if you smile in the face of your brother, then it is form of charity. This is actually one of the saying of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, tabassumuka fi wajhi akhika sadaqah. Your smile in front of your brother's face is considered as sadaqah. It's actually one of the things that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, because of things happen. The poor people, they went to the Prophet and start to make a complaint that the rich people is getting all the reward. All the reward is getting by the rich people, because the rich people prayed like the poor people prayed, fasting like them, but the rich people have money for them to give to charity and go to jihad. So the poor people is saying that the thing about they doesn't have the opportunity to go into charity. So when the Prophet ﷺ taught them about charity is not just money, even sometimes it is in the form like to smile in front of a brother face. And the other hadith that came into clearing up the matter of smiling in front of your brother's face is actually the hadith that the Prophet ﷺ said, "La tahkiranna min ma'rufi shay'a." Don't ever you belittle any goodness, any of it, not even a little thing from the goodness. Walau antal akhaka bi wajhin taliq. Even though the goodness that you can do is just to smile, to meet your brother in a cheerful face. Cheerful face. That is actually enough. And don't ever think that is not considered as good in the sight of Allah. He said here, continue with our the last Shaykh is actually stopped there. So Sulaiman smiled, amused by her speech. This is from the Suratul Naml, verse number 19. The saying is actually the ayah, fatabassama dhahikam min qawliha. Fatabassama dhahikam min qawliha. Then Solomon, peace be upon him, smile, a little laugh, and a little laugh because of the saying of the end. Because when his army came into the valley of the end, then the queen of the end, how do you know the queen? Because the ayah, number 18, said, Qalatin namlatu, is female. Is claimed as female end. Qalatin namlatu, Ya ayuhan namlu dukhulu masakinakum. O all and enter your hole, your place. La yatimannakum syaitan. La yatimannakum Sulaiman wa junuduhu. So that Solomon and his army will not crush you. Even though they are not realizing it. So Solomon, when hearing the saying of the end, he start to smile and a little laugh. Tabassama dhahikan. He smiled and laughing because of the saying of the end, and because he understood the saying. Because think that the Solomon, peace be upon him, he be given Allah many things upon conquering the jinn. The jinn is really working for him, and also one of it is actually considering he know the language of birds and also the insects. So, and talking, and he understood. People doesn't understand. So he actually start to feel that Allah Ta'ala gave him a blessing. Even after that, he prayed to Allah because looking that Allah Ta'ala gave to him. So because of the blessing from Allah, he start to smile and laugh because he knows something that people doesn't know. So it's there, not only from our Prophet, peace be upon him, even from the Prophet before him. To smile and to laugh moderately is actually considered as things that is actually not forbidden. Not to say that don't laugh. Laugh immoderately, yes. It's actually not being. Huh? Kucing is cat. Not bunyi macam crane. Like, even cat. So also when you laugh, you should not do so in mocking or jeering fashion. So when you are laughing because you see something is actually funny, it's actually considered as normal. But when you laugh to mock other people, that is actually being considered as forbidden in Islam. You should not do so in mocking or jeering fashion, because that is actually among the doing of the non-believers when they looking to the prophet or to the messengers being sent to them. All the evidence being given, they are laughing. But when it is being said in surah, in Surah Al-Zukhruf, verse number 47. Zukhruf, verse number 47. He said there, in that ayah, فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ بِآيَاتِنَا إِذَا هُمْ مِنْهَا يَضْحَكُونَ. And when the Prophet came to them with our evidence, suddenly towards the sign being given, they are laughing. Laughing not because they amazed about the thing, not because they like the evidence being shown to them, but they are laughing because they are mocking. Sometimes the laugh is actually for mocking. So that type of laughing is actually not supposed to be done by in somebody want to have light heart or want to not be sad. That is not the type of laugh. Not the type of laughter that encouraged here. And among the pleasures of paradise will be laughter. It's not among the pleasure actually. It can be as the believers will get back to the non-believers that laughing towards them in this world, but in the hereafter, then the believers will laugh back at them. He said in the surah in the surah of 83. In the surah Al-Mutaffifin, surah Al-Mutaffifin, verse number 34, he said, فَالْيَوْمَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنَ الْكُفَّارِ يَضْحَكُونَ. Today, the believers, this day, the day of resurrection, those who believe will laugh back at the disbeliever. Because if you look into that ayah, is said there that the non-believers, the disbelievers, they are start to laugh at the believers. Like, you know, when you try to keep track your time for daily prayers, they said that's so devout. You don't do anything that is actually forbidden in Islam. You don't drink alcohol. You don't do something that actually forbidden. So some people said that, why? And they start to mock and laugh at what being said. Or even if you don't want to join the party or the like these days, many of the non-believers party is actually inside the society is become known. I actually, because my birth is actually around 70, people from the 70 now is 40 plus my age. So when the 80s, when I was growing up, we don't know Valentine. We don't know Halloween. We don't know it at all. It's unknown to us. At the 80s, the early age of my age, I didn't know anything about that. But like we said, when the globalization happened, all the information, you can get it without the official source. You can go into the internet and everything is being shown to you. So suddenly, people in our time right now is actually start to celebrating things that is not celebrated before. Even there's no Oktoberfest before. Unknown to the Malaysian. Even to the drunkards, those who actually drink alcohol, they don't have that, you say, Oktoberfest. They don't have in the 80s. So sometimes this thing come into our society just lately. So the problem is when people is actually not celebrating or not respecting that, they don't to go into that. So some people will mock. So I am holier than thou. Said they feel that they are holier than us. But essentially the thing is forbidden, not only in Islam, but even inside the other religion. Even the Christianity or Judaism or the Buddhist or Taoism, all of them essentially forbid that. Like our Sheikh told us the story when he went to Brunei. I don't know when it is, early young age of his. He went there to preach and to because being invited to preach Islam there. So because at that time the king of Brunei have the goal or vision that when I don't know what is the date. He said that after 20 years or 30 years, I want Brunei to be all the people here is Muslim. So that's why they start to invite our Sheikh to go there and preach Islam. So one of the place he been invited, but those people doesn't like, is actually in the army. The army. So he went to the camp, the army camp, to preach Islam. But the commandant there is a British guy, and the army there at that time, many of them are Gurkha from Myanmar. Or the name was Burma. So when but they cannot stop because Sheikh been invited by the government. So Sheikh said they invite him anyway, reluctantly. They don't like it, but they said that the speech will be in the field, not inside a hall, not inside a closed place, but in the field. You want to talk anything about Islam, then talk here. It's okay. So Sheikh said that they give him the opportunity. So he took the opportunity from the start to make them understand that the government at that time want that thing to happen, because those people are living inside the Muslim community. So they should understand what is related to Islam, because the king is a Muslim, the society is Muslim. So you are living inside the society, you have to understand whatever belief or practice they have. So after the short speech, and he opened question and answer. This is actually something something that he actually told me, and I amazed for what happened. So one of the Buddhist soldier in Myanmar, from Burma, they start their hand and ask why pig is forbidden in Islam. Why? The forbiddance of pig. Why in Islam? So the Sheikh, before he answer about the benefit or not benefit, even though we know that the forbiddance of pig in Islam is just because the saying of Allah, not because of the benefit. Even though the benefit is not there, you have to follow it. That is actually the core belief in Islam. Anyway, he just want to make a conversation. He said, what religion are you? So the person said, Buddhist. So Sheikh said to him, do you know that? Do you know that inside your religion, in Dharma, he said the book of Buddhist Dharma, is not being, there's no permission for you to eat, not pig, all living thing. All living thing, not cow, not chicken. Everything is not being given for you from the start. Do you know that? The person start to go and the wrong question. Yes, she said that the person is actually questioning, but he doesn't understand his religion from the start. He's not practicing his religion. So because in Islam, the forbidden things is actually so little. And he said to the commandant, you are Christian, and you know that it's actually forbidden in your religion also. In the Bible, it's also forbidden. You cannot eat pig. Even Jesus, peace be upon him, didn't eat pig. So, what happened? So in Islam, the forbiddance is actually just a single thing among many things that is actually being given permission for you to eat. That's a little. So they themselves doesn't understand their own religion. And sometimes the thing that been forbidden in Islam is actually in their religion is also forbidden. It's also forbidden. It's the same, but only that they are not practicing it. We are actually the most practicing people on their religion in this world. That's why we have the halal haram. Other than us, maybe we can say that the Jew, they have the kosher, and some people who become vegan, then they have that things. You cannot give them any type of animal fat and everything. So the thing is actually, Islam is actually the only religion that still holding fast to their principle or to the command of Allah. The other is they are start to left everything from the teaching. So sometimes people do look at us when we are actually following all the guidance. Page number 80. Page number 80. Yeah, so people essentially when doing that, we know that they want to mock us, but they doesn't know that the thing is actually forbid from them from the start. Even when the Prophet ﷺ doesn't want to worship other than Allah, the Quraysh is actually mocking him, laughing towards him. Even though they know that Abraham didn't do it. Their father, Abraham, Ishmael, didn't do that. Didn't worship any idols. But still they start to laugh and mock at the teaching of the Prophet. Or even the laughter is not about the content of what being said by the Prophet, but just to stop the Prophet from talking. Just to stop the Prophet from talking. Just to make the Prophet cannot speak well when they are laughing towards him. That's the thing of mocking. So when Allah Ta'ala make us, insyaAllah, enter the paradise, all the laughing that being done to us will be give back to the non-believers. That's why that being said in the Surah in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, verse number 34, But in this day, the day of resurrection, those who believe will laugh at the disbelievers. Because at that time, this here in this world, if you want to have the pity upon a person that cannot get the things, goodness, yes, you have here. Not to laugh at others. But there, in the last day, everything that settled means that when Allah Ta'ala have judged upon all the humankind, all the jinn and the human, and being put some of them in the paradise and some of them in hell, most of them in the hell, fire, that is the most just of all. Means that there's no wrongness because the person deserves to stay there. That's why even the Prophet ﷺ, when being stopped from him, few person, the Prophet said that I will wait you on the pool. The Prophet ﷺ will be given a pool for drinking for his people. Even all prophets have their own pool, house, a place of water before people start to go into the sirat, passing the sirat. So the pool is so big and the water is so clear and so sweet that whoever drank from that water will not be thirsty anymore, ever. So the Prophet ﷺ said that people will come to him, but some of the people will be stopped from coming to him, even though the sign that the person is a believer is there. How the believer will be known by the Prophet is being said in the hadith, Bukhari and Muslim, when the Prophet stood at a grave of one of his companion. He said, I wish that I see my brother. I wish that I can see my brother. My brother. Because the word ikhwan, my brothers. So the companion said, Oh Prophet, oh Messenger of Allah, aren't we your brothers? Because we understood that innamal mu'minuna ikhwah, those who believers are brothers. So the Prophet said, Antum ashabi, you are my companion. Ikhwani, my brothers, are those who believe in me but didn't come yet. So the companion said, how could you know them? The Prophet said that the believers will be white and shining in their forehead, in their hand and their feet because of the wudu. Because of the wudu they did in this world, these places of wudu will be shining. So the Prophet said, don't you see that if a person have horses that have white in their head, it's his head, and a white line in the leg, the front leg and the behind leg, can he differentiate his horses from the dark one? The companion said, yes. That is how I will know. That is how I will know my people in the last day. But among them, some people will be stopped. The Prophet will say to the angels, my companion, my ummah, my nation, ummati or ashabi. But suddenly the angel will say, you didn't know what they fabricate or did after you have gone. You didn't know. You did not know. So the Prophet said at that time, if here we feel pity for what we lost from our friend. But at that time the Prophet said, suhkan suhka, they deserve it. The saying of the last day is not the saying of the in this world. Even the Prophet did mention about the comparison between him and all people that he called into Islam. That he is actually like a person who light up fire in the middle of the night. And all the insects start to go into the fire. So the guy feel pity towards the insect and start to stop them from entering the fire. The Prophet said, I am stopping all of you from entering the hellfire, but you pass from my fingers. So he feel pity towards them. But the problem is when the last day, when the angels stop those people, the Prophet said, suhqan suhqa, they deserve it. They deserve it. That is saying, and that is why the laughing of the believers towards the disbeliever in the hereafter, in the last day, is actually one of the things that said as the pleasure of the paradise, because they deserve it. But in this world, upon actually what you seeing people around you, to have pity to people that actually doesn't get the hidayah. Yes, you have to have that pity. But the problem is you cannot go against the qadar, because Allah Ta'ala is the one choosing among the human being who been given the guidance and who not been given the guidance. Only that in this world is not clear. We doesn't know why the person doesn't get. This person, like we said about Abu Talib, the uncle of our Prophet, peace be upon him. He was the person that really helping the Prophet. Really helping the Prophet. Only that the Prophet himself declaring to us that the uncle, Abu Talib, father of Ali, is in the hellfire. Only that Allah Ta'ala give him the most light punishment, because the hellfire is like a pit. Whoever being staying on the verge of the pit is actually considered as the most light punishment. So being burned, his feet, but his brain is actually bubbling because of the burning in his feet. So his uncle is there. The Prophet said, if not because of me, he'll be inside the pit of hell. So the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that to us, saying that his uncle is there. Even though his uncle is one really, really helping Islam. Even the Quraysh stopped from disturbing the Prophet because of his uncle. Only after the death of his uncle and his wife, Khadijah, that the Quraysh start to doing things towards the Prophet, peace be upon him. Start to pour the stomach of a camel upon him when he was praying. That thing happened after his uncle, the death of his uncle, Abu Talib. So the uncle is really helping him, stopping people from disturbing him in his da'wah. But he is in hellfire. Some people are saying that this is some type of Shia's teaching. They said that how can Abu Talib, the one who really helped the Prophet, enter the hellfire, but Abu Sufyan, the one that opposed the Prophet all the time, he actually embraced Islam only on the 9th of Hijrah. He was fighting the Prophet all the way in all the war, but he become a Muslim and enter the paradise. So some people is actually, they start to, does it dissatisfy with the choose, with what Allah Ta'ala choose. This is actually the choose by Allah. Allah choose for them, for Abu Talib, whatever happened to him, and choose for Abu Sufyan, whatever happened to him. Because Abu Sufyan in the end embraced Islam. If people say, how can Abu Talib enter the hellfire, even though he's helping the Prophet, Abu Sufyan fighting the Prophet, suddenly become believers and will enter the paradise? It is because of the acceptance by Abu Sufyan. He accept to say, La ilaha illallah. Abu Talib, his uncle, was being said by the Prophet for him during his death, to say La ilaha illallah. Just that word. Four words. La ilaha illa Allah. Say that, and I will ask from Allah for you with these words. Because his uncle in the end said to him, I am on in the religion of Abdul Muttalib. He doesn't to say La ilaha illallah. So some people say Abu Sufyan is actually saying that because he was forced. No, Abu Sufyan was not forced, because the Prophet ﷺ, when he conquered Makkah on the 9th Hijrah, when he conquered Makkah, he gathered all the people there, all the mushrik, the people that oppose him, the inhabitants of Mecca, being brought in front of him. Then the Prophet asked them a question. He can kill everybody. He can do anything. But the Prophet asked them, Ma tazunnuna anni fa'ilun bikum. What do you think that I will do to you, all of you? What do you think? Because thinking whatever happened before, punishment upon the believers, mocking the Prophet, and try to kill him. So the Prophet said, "Ma tazunnuna anni fa'il bikum?" What do you think that I will do to you? They answered to him, "Akhun Karim, you are the most noble upon brothers. Ibnu Akhil Karim, and you are son of the noblest people. Khair, you will do good to us." Then the Prophet said, "Idhabu fa antumut tulaqa." Go, you are all free. Not single of them being captured. All of them being freed by the Prophet ﷺ. So among them is who? Abu Sufyan. Abu Sufyan was there. So Abu Sufyan, if some people say that he is actually claiming shahada because he was forced, clearly it's not. Because he can go away from Mecca at that time. And he actually have acquaintance, known by the Emperor of Rome. The Roman Emperor know him, have a connection with him. Even ask about the Prophet from Abu Sufyan. So he can get away with his wife, Hind. But he came to the Prophet and proclaimed Shahada and become a Muslim. So this is actually sometimes some people doesn't like it. In this world, he said that this guy is good. Then why he is going into the hellfire? This guy is so bad. How can God forgive him? How can God forgive him? That is the choosing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, يَغْفِرُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ. Allah Ta'ala will forgive whoever He want. وَيُعَذِّبُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ, and He punish whoever He want. Hold to that saying of Allah, then you can understand that that is the choosing of Allah. Only that in this world, the feeling is there. In the last day, like being said in that ayah, all the believers, when their counterpart from the non-believers is inside the hellfire, they laugh back to them. There. But here is actually not appropriate for you to laugh. Because you don't know where are you. You are a Muslim, yes. The problem is, will you be in the hereafter? Where will you be? You hope that. Because until you enter the paradise, you cannot laugh. Even some of the scholars among the narrator of the hadith, he said that I will not laugh until I know my place in the sight of Allah. So the people that washed him when he died, the people that washed him, washing his body, said that they see that he is actually smiling at that time. In his life, he's actually not a person that will smile lightly, that will not carefully, will not freely smile. He said that I don't want to laugh, I want to smile until I know where I will be. That's the thing, we cannot laugh at people here. Even though the person died and everything, you cannot laugh because you don't know where you'll be. Because if maybe you laugh at them today, suddenly in the hereafter you are with them inside the hellfire. How can? So that's why until you enter the paradise, you cannot laugh to the people that actually happen to them misfortune in this world. That's why the Prophet himself doesn't taught his companion to die, to laugh whenever the mushrikin died. Only prostration, sujud syukur, sujud to we say thanking Allah of the blessing, that is actually permissible. Laughing, no. Laughing, no. Even your enemy died, you don't laugh. The Prophet didn't laugh when Abu Jahal died, Umayyah bin Khalaf died, Al-As bin Wa'il died. He doesn't laugh. He doesn't laugh. Then say, Alhamdulillah. No, ever. He doesn't do something like that. Because in this world, you don't know where you will be in the last day. Because Allah Ta'ala is testing you. As long as you are alive, you will be tested by Allah. You may pass and you may not pass. So that's why laughing here is different from the laughter of those who enter the paradise. That's you have to know. You have to know about this. If not, then you will wrongly understand how can Allah Ta'ala make the believers laughing at the people who enter the hellfire. Because at that time, the decision or the judgment have already passed. Whoever enter the hellfire, they actually, because of their deeds, Whoever enter the paradise because of the blessing of Allah. Really because of that, not more, not because other than that. And so because of that, the laughter of the people enter the paradise is there. The Arabs would hold high esteem a person who have known for his smile and his laughter. Will respect a person that being known because of his laughter and his smile. They believe this to be a sign of a generous personality. A person that always smile and laughing, not crazy laughter. Laughing actually moderately. You are not here just now, so I have to remind you. Laughing moderately. Not laughing that actually all, the whole kayu ara listen to you. No, cannot. That is not the way. Because the believers will always be moderate. In eating, they are moderate. In praying, they are moderate. So the moderation is there. Because we actually the people of the best ummah. Allah Ta'ala said, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. And because and as that we made you. Surah Al-Baqarah verse number 144. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. We made you the moderate, the middle of all the people. The middle of the people comparing to the extreme. Either extreme to ignore or doesn't do anything but being told by Allah, or being doing something that more than Allah Ta'ala told you to do. You are actually the middle. We are not like the Jew who actually neglect everything Allah Ta'ala told them to do, or not like the Christian that they will do more than Allah Ta'ala told them to do. Allah Ta'ala never ever told them that if you want to be near to me, don't get married. No such thing. Don't eat delicious food. Don't sleep. That is not from the command of Allah. So either to extreme. So we are in the middle, not too high, not too low. It's not the moderate that bring some of our people here in Malaysia understood. The moderation, they understand that not really that good, not really that bad. That is actually not the explanation of wasata. The good nation that Allah said. The wasata doesn't mean that you are not really that good, you are not really that bad. Means that they said a person can be a reciter of the Quran, so with beautiful voice, and he also can sing and dance on the stage. So that is moderate. Some people thought that is moderate. You can recite the Quran, be an imam in Taraweh, but you also can sing on the stage. No, that is not moderate. That is not moderate that being said in the Quran. The moderate means that you don't go into extreme to neglect whatever being told to you by Allah, or to left atau to do something more than Allah Ta'ala told you to do. That is the moderation is there. So don't laugh until all the people hear you. He said here, so they believe that this is a sign of a generous personality and of a person who has a noble disposition and clear mind. A person that always smile, meeting people with cheerful face. That is actually the person that the meaning. That the cheerful face, always cheerful. Not that like that. Somebody will say you are crazy because of that. Okay. The truth is, the principle of Islam are based on moderation and good measure. Whether it is in matter of belief, like you said just now, worship, act of worship, manners. You respect your teacher, but don't go and bow at his feet. Oh, teacher, I praise you. Like when the Prophet ﷺ sent his companion, I thought Saad bin Waqqas, Mu'adh bin Jabal, he sent him to the Sham, to the northern area. And when this guy came back from his journey, from his task, he came back, he started to prostrate to the Prophet, at the feet of the Prophet. The Prophet said, "What is this?" So he said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, I went to that country. Those people there is actually bowing to their priest, bowing to their bishop. You are the Prophet of Allah. You are actually more eligible for the prostration than other people. So he started to prostrate. The Prophet said, no, it's not permissible for a person to prostrate to other person. If I can command anybody to prostrate to anybody, to a person, then I will say, I will tell the wife to prostrate to her husband. But nobody prostrate except to Allah. If can happen, then the wife to her towards the husband. But the Prophet said is forbid. So even in manners, because sometimes in our days today, people say that you should put your manners with the Prophet in front of the teaching of the Prophet. He said that even if the Prophet told me not to do, I will do it because I love him. Even if the Prophet told me not to do, I will do it. I will do that thing. Even he said that I don't like it. I will do it because I love him. That's the thing happen these days. When you see people start to gather up in the mosque, start to celebrating the birth of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Even though that the 12th of Rabiul Awal. Rabiul Awal is the third month in Islam. I mean 12 of 3. 12 of Rabiul Awal, 12 of Rabiul Awal. It was the day. It really is actually the date that the Prophet died. The day the day of his birth is actually 9th of Rabiul Awal, because they start to calculate. You can back up your calendar right now. Anybody of you know in which month of Islam you've been birth into your birth in the month of Islam? Do you remember? No. That is Chinese one. In the month of Islam. they can Gregorian to the lunar. Actually, because this day they have that app, but normally people doesn't know. They don't concern about the month of Islam. They just pick towards the Gregorian calendar. So anyway, if you do it right now, you have that app. You can back up to the day, the year and the day and the date of your birth, the month and the day of your birth in Islam. So they start to calculate. They got that the Prophet, the Monday, the week that the Prophet get birth to was 9 and not 12. The 12 that they're celebrating right now is actually the date that the Prophet died. Anyway, people actually start to chanting and saying poem for the Prophet because of love. And one of the person said that he actually recorded a person, a doctor in Egypt. He said that even if the Prophet forbid me from celebrating his birth, I will celebrate it because of my love. When I saying that, this is actually not just I make it just assumption. People are saying doing that right now, saying that the Prophet ﷺ his month of his birth, they start to celebrate doing the Maulid and everything. Even though the Prophet ﷺ did say about la tatruni, don't ever praise me, kama tatratin nasara al-masih Maryam, as like the Christian celebrating or praising the al-masih Maryam, the Messiah bin Maryam. Walakin qulu Abdullah wa rasuluh, but say that I am his messenger, I am the servant of I am messenger of Allah and also the servant of Allah. Not more than that. That is what the position the Prophet ﷺ want us to take. Don't ever do something more than the about the manners, not more than what being given. Or conduct or act. Islam doesn't condone a rigid, frowning expression. Doesn't say that always to be serious, looking to people seriously. No. Or no does condone a constant playful giddiness, always playing around. It also not being condoned by Islam. Rather, what it does promote is seriousness when it's called for. You have to be serious when it's called for, and reasonable level of light-heartedness when it's called for. So because when you meet children, you have to be playful. You have to smile. You don't see, how are you? You are fine. To children. The children will look at you. What happened to this uncle? Yeah. So because when the thing is serious, then you have a serious expression. When the thing is actually doesn't have that type of seriousness, then you don't have to be like that. Because Islam always promote the thing at its place. You know, in when you said in the Arabic word hikmah, being actually wiseful. The wiseness in Islam is when you put something on its place. Whenever you put something on its place, that is actually hikmah. Means that to be angry at the time to be angry, and to be calm at the time to be calm. You don't just mix up together. The things happen to people who know you as somebody with always angry, an angry person, a serious person. I don't know what something actually when we were in high school in the 80s, in the early of 90s. On that time, in any school, there will be one person to be afraid by all the students. Normally, the person will be the discipline teacher or the principal. He will go around, bring with him a cane. So people will look at him. Even though actually the person so small, so short. My teacher was in one of my school. He was a short person. But people actually so afraid of him. When he start. But when you meet him outside of school, it's different. Inside the school, so serious. So serious. So people, student is actually say, oh, teacher is there. Because sometimes something like this should have be inside the school. Even inside the society, like Omar ibn Khattab, anhu, he's known as the serious person. He do laugh from time to time. But people always look at him as somebody is actually to be afraid of. Even the woman in his time, and the woman is actually staying with the Prophet inside his house and asking question. So they raise up their voice. They raise up their voice. I don't know. Some people actually emphasizing matter by raising up their tone. That's the way. In Arabic, you emphasize originally by letters. Inna, Wallah, that emphasize. But in our society, actually, normally, even the Arabs also, some of them start to yell and raise up their voice to emphasize their ideas. So they actually questioning the Prophet inside the house. Then their voices start to raise up. So Omar passed by the house and looked at them. Suddenly, everybody become silent. Everyone become silent. Even the narrator of the hadith said, if a needle being dropped at that time, we will listen the sound. Because so silent because of Omar. The Prophet ﷺ laughed and said, "Ya Omar, the Satan ran away because of your face." So the Omar then after that said to them, you raise up your voice in front of the Prophet, but you stop when you look at me. They said that you are a harsh person. You are a harsh person. So we don't want to argue with you. But the Prophet is actually so lovable person. So we argue with him. So only that the Prophet. So these type of people inside the society, sometimes we need it. Like being done before. Only that the seriousness actually inside the place, inside the school. When you met the teacher outside the school, he's a cheerful person. He only have that character inside the school. I know somebody in the embassy of Malaysia when he was in Yemen. He was so serious with his colleague, his actually workers. When he is inside the embassy, outside the embassy he will start to laugh again, start to smile and ask them to eat with him. But inside the embassy, I'm your boss, so you have to follow me. Very serious. So you know when to use your seriousness and when you have to be playful, not just playful all around. Not playful, cheerful, yes, not playful. Okay, he said here, Bearing a gloomy, face or character, and a frowning countenance are marks of lowly characters. Inside, even being shown to the children. When you put Popeye, even though the Sheikh did mention about the usage of cartoon to make an expression towards the children, having beard is not good because Brutus have a beard. Popeye doesn't have any beard, good person. Sometimes it's like that. But the other part is actually grumpiness. Grumpy. They always frowning. The children said that this is not good person. This always smile. Get back. Good person is this one. You always like to put a character, good person, bad person, by the face. Always smiling, always good. This is a good person. Even sometimes serial murderer, always like that, always smiling. It's sometimes like that. Inside the feeling we don't know. Maybe the craziness making him like that. Only normal act, people who have bad personality will always frowning. People who frowning. People who have good personality always smiling. That is the nature, the original nature of a human. Even the children know about that. They want to go near to somebody who is smiling towards them. Even cat, seriously. A cat, when it look at you, if you smile, it start to blink and start to come. Blink, 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 and it come to you. Blink the eye, and you blink back, it come. And if you come to, you start to look at it with front face, the cat will run away. The cat will run away. Serious. So the personality of your personality, even though maybe at that time, you actually having problem. You have to say, people have problems. You actually at that time you have problems, or maybe that bad person at that time so happy, so he start to do good things, start to be cheerful. Maybe because like Abu Lahab, the uncle of the Prophet, peace be upon him. His name was Abdul Uzza bin Abdul Muttalib. Abdul Uzza bin Abdul Muttalib. The father of the Prophet, Abdullah. His uncle, the brother of his father, Abdul Uzza. Abdul Uzza. One is actually to Allah, one is the son, the servant of the idol. So this guy, Abdul Uzza bin Abdul Muttalib, he actually was, he have this character. He has a character. But when the Prophet was being born, he was so cheerful with that happening. He started to give a present to people who give him the story about the news about his birth. So sometimes a character of person, even a mafia, people who kill anybody else, a mafia with guns, at the day they got good news, you have him as a good person. He will be cheerful to help money. And maybe a person that is actually a good personality person, but at the day they have problems and troubles. You can see that the face is so gloomy. You can always think about that. But the character, the original things that gloomy face, bad personality. Cheerful face, good personality. That is the original. Not something that being actually you make it even though you are sad, you don't show your sadness. Sometimes actually it's good, sometimes it's bad. Why? Can you see that the artist, the actor and actress, I have heard that most of them have sickness in their mind. Most of them cannot think carefully because they always tend to do the opposite of their feeling. You are sad, but you have to smile. You are actually cheerful on that day, but you have to cry because of the scene. They cannot be inside that thing except they have multiple personality. You cannot laugh and smile when you are actually having problem. Surely we cannot. But you don't cry loudly. You don't go into the sadness all out. It's actually from the teaching of Islam. You can be sad, but not all the way. Not all the way. You have to move on. Not to sad to say yourself, I am sad. So this day, any people meet me, I will be angry towards them. Some of the women using that excuse during menstrual cycle, they said that I'm in my period. You do something to me, I will hit you. I will get mad at you. It's actually not permissible. Yes, we know that from the characteristic is there, but you should not follow all the way. You have that moody. You have mood. Your mood is actually not good, but you don't have to entertain your mood and start to angry to with everybody. Everybody is your enemy. It's not like that. Only that when said about artists, they have that psychological actually trouble, because they always do the opposite. So in the end, they have multiple personality. So you actually, when you be friend with them, you don't know this person like me or not, because they can always pretend that they like you. Can pretend they like you, even though inside their heart they actually doesn't like you at all. So they actually, because they acted. We tend to stop our feeling. We tend to stop, but not all the way. Not all the way. We can have the cry, because the Prophet ﷺ did cry when his grandchild is on verge of death. He's holding the daughter of Zainab, Umamah binti Abil As, is dying. The Prophet actually, the tear came down. The companion said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, what is this? What is these tears?" The Prophet said, "This is the feeling, because this is the mercy that Allah put inside the human heart. The mercy. Allah created the mercy 100 part. He put one part for us, for the animals, to be loving each other, to have mercy each other. So he reserved 99 for his servant in the last day. So the feeling there, you look at something saddening you, is normal. But don't go all the way 2 days and 3 days doesn't want to eat. No, you cannot continue with that. Only the feeling is there, not to the crying. The Prophet did cry. The tears drop. Means that the feeling is there. The Prophet doesn't hold the child and laughing. Ha ha ha. Alhamdulillah, you are dying. He doesn't say like that. He doesn't do the opposite. So you can be having your feeling, but don't, like you said, don't go all the way. Be moderate. Be moderate with whatever feeling you have. Bearing a gloomy mien and frowning countenance are marks of a lowly character, a troubled nature, and hot-headedness. He said in the surah, number 74. Number 74 is actually the surah of Mudathir. And this ayah is talking about Al-Walid bin Mughirah, one of the enemy of the Prophet, peace be upon him. This guy was being respected by all Quraysh, and they actually hoping that this guy, Walid bin Mughirah, father of Khalid bin Walid, they thought that if this guy got the Quran, it's so great. In the Surah Al-Zukhruf, verse number 31, they said, وَقَالُوا, and they said, لَوْلَا نُزِّلَ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ, if only the Quran being sent down, عَلَى رَجُلٍ مِنَ الْقَرْيَتَيْنِ, to a person from 2 villages. The first village is Makkah, second village is Ta'if. First person is actually Al-Walid bin Mughirah, this guy, that the frowning face we talk about it. And the second person is Uqbah bin Mas'ud. They said that if only the Quran being given to them, is so great. Means that they are not actually rejecting the Quran. The Arabs, when they recite the Quran, they're so amazed by its linguistic beauty. So beautiful for them. But the only problem is the one that recite the Quran to them is Muhammad. If only this person, Al-Walid bin Mughirah, oh, so great. So this guy, Al-Walid bin Mughirah, father of Khalid bin Walid, he actually did praise the Quran. Did say something good about the Quran. So when he did that, Abu Jahal came to him. He said, "Oh uncle, your people is gathering money for you." He said, proudly he said, "Don't the Quraysh know that I am the most rich person? Why do they want to gather money for me? Why? I'm the most rich person." You know the dignity for him. If somebody said that we are gathering money for you, Alhamdulillah. This person is actually so proud, have pride and so proud of himself. So he said, "Why don't the Quraysh know that I am the most rich person among them?" So Abu Jahl said, "You said something about the Quran that your people doesn't please with it. You're praising the Quran." So Al-Walid bin Mughirah said, "Doesn't the Quraysh know that I am the most knowledgeable person about poem? About poem, I am the most knowledgeable. Syair, I am the most knowledgeable person. I know the short poem, the long poem, even the genie poem, I know. Whatever being said by Muhammad is not a poem. Not ever a poem," he said. So that the thing. He praised the Quran, so the people, Abu Jahal came to him and said that. And when Abu Jahal said, "Your people will not please with you until you say something," so he doesn't know what to say. That's what Allah said in that ayah. Innahu fakkara wa qaddar. The continuation. He think and he tried to make a measurement. Fakutila kaifa qaddar. And may Allah said, kill him because of whatever he thought about the Quran. Thumma kutila kaifa qaddar. May Allah kill him for the second time because whatever he thought about the Quran. Innahu fakkara wa Summa nazar. Then after that he start to think back. Summa abasa wa basar. That's the way. Then then he frowned and he looked and in a bad temper way. That is the face that Al-Walid bin Mughirah had when Abu Jahal told him to think what do you want to say about the Quran. So he frowned his face, what to say about the Quran. In the end he said, "Faqala in hadha illa sihrun yu'thar." He said that the Quran is nothing except a magic that being taught from before of Muhammad. In hadha illa qaulul bashar. It is not except a saying of a human being. So he changed his statement by saying the Quran is actually magic, sihir. Even though he know that the thing that he said is not true. But when he was thinking about what to say, his face was frowning and start to become so actually ugly when he want to think about the what to say about the Quran. Rather than whatever he said about the Quran, he want to change it. In the end, he said Quran is sihir. Quran is sihir. Even though at first he was praising the Quran. So that is actually inside the Suratul verse number 22, Suratul Muddathir. The Prophet, blessing and peace upon him, said, "Wallahu alam." Stop there. We stop there, inshallah. Okay. Okay, any question? Yeah. Okay, my hearing is not very good because motorcycle, you go fast, so the sound is actually really making your ear not functioning yet well.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay, 3 soalan. Pertama, surah An-Najm ayat 43 tentang dia yang menyebabkan seseorang itu gembira dan berduka cita dan menangis. So boleh Ustaz jelaskan tak? An-Najm ayat 43.
What is the ayah? Oh, 3. 43. Mudathir. Okay. Najm idha. Okay. Okay, 43. Hadhihi jahannamul lati kuntum hadhihi jahannamul lati yukadzibu bihal mujrimun. Is it? What is the ayah? Wa annahu adhaka wa abka. Wa annahu adhaka wa abka. Surah An-Najm. What is the problem with that? Or making you laugh and cry?
Can you explain?
Okay. That is actually in the ayah. Allah Ta'ala said about himself. Wa anna ila rabbikal muntaha. And in the end, everything is actually coming back to Allah, to your Lord. And He is actually Allah who adhaka wa abka, making you laugh and making you cry. Because the thing that will happen to you around your life, things that make you cheerful, things that make you sad, is actually being destined by Allah. For you to have today when you come to work and the road is so clear, no jam, no traffic jam at all. You are laughing and you smile. Oh, today I arrived early because there's no traffic jam. The thing that today is not the same as yesterday, and maybe tomorrow is not the same as today. So everything happening to you in this world, things that you will face, either is cheering you up or making you to feel sad, is being predestined by Allah. Predestined by Allah. So a person that really understand things about this, he can be sad if something is actually, when say things that saddening him, you can be sad, but not to go all the way, because Allah is the one that making you to feel that. And you have the laughter, you don't laugh at all the way, because you know that Allah Ta'ala is testing you with that. Because things that cheering you up and making you sad is things that Allah Ta'ala testing you with it. So nobody will have the opportunity to get away from this. You will always have things that will make you laugh, things that will make you cry. The thing is actually made by Allah. It's not by you yourself. That's the meaning of wa annahu adhaka wa abka. Because after that he said wa annahu amata wa ahya. He's the one that making you die, amata, to make something die, and ahya, to make something being alive. That's actually the attributes of Allah.
Soalan kedua, ada tak hadis yang mengatakan bahawa senyuman seseorang jenazah tu adalah husnul khatimah?
There's no hadith about. He said about if a dead person, you see the dead person is smiling or have a cheerful face. It's not really from the hadith. Not from the hadith. It's just from the experience of people. You are dealing with a good person, and the person is showing you his face like that. Something that it cannot be made out. You cannot make out except you go to the Christian mortuary. They will make all of it there. You know, the smiling and the makeup. In Islam, you don't make up your dead, your deceased. You not be make up their faces. So if something happened that the face is so cheerful, maybe you say maybe that is the sign that the person got something.
Can we believe that is a good sign?
Maybe, we can say maybe. Wallahu alam. Because you don't know whatever happened to him. There. Maybe the face will show, will showing the sign of goodness. Wallahu alam. But from the hadith, from the saying of the Prophet, no. The Prophet didn't say anything about that. Only that in the Quran is saying that the face of the people that believe Allah will be cheerful when meeting Him. When meeting Allah, the face will be cheerful. So the commentator of the Quran said that is in the last day. Here, sometimes you can get somebody died, like an accident, crash. For you, the death is so tragic. And you say that, what is the person sin that Allah made him to die like that? But the opposite in Islam, the way you died sometimes became the part of forgiveness from Allah for you. Because like the Prophet ﷺ said, when he asked his companion, saying, Man ta'udduna shahida fikum. Who do you consider as martyr from among you? Who died in fisabilillah? Who you consider as martyr? Because Allah said about those people are among the fourth group that you always ask Allah to be with them. And you say, Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Show us the straight path, the path of those who you bestow your blessing upon them. So those people in the Surah Al-Fatiha, you can know who are they in Surah An-Nisa, verse number 69. Allah Ta'ala said, وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولِ. Whoever obey Allah and obey Rasul. فَأُولَٰئِكَ, and those who are مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ, will be with the people that Allah Ta'ala bestow His blessing upon them. Minan Nabiyyin, from among the Prophet. Was-Siddiqin, the people, truthful person. Was-Shuhada, the martyr. Was-Salihin, and those who do good deeds. Wa-hasuna ulaika rafiqa, and those people are the best for you to be with. If you want to be with somebody, not the artist, not the actor, but those people. If you start to say that I want to be with the actor, and the actor is not a Muslim, and when you wake up in the last day, you see, Brad Pitt is with me. If he died as a non-believers, when you wake up, you with him, then you should cry, because the person is not in paradise. If he died as a non-Muslim, so you with him, you say, oh, Alhamdulillah, I'm with Brad Pitt. In the pit of the hell. How will it happen? So anyway, from among is actually the number third is martyr or shahid. So the shahid, the Prophet asked the companion, Man ta'udduna shahida fikum. Who do you consider as those who died as martyr in among you? So the companion said, whoever been killed in the way of Allah, in the war, those are the martyr. So the Prophet said, if that what your idea is, then the martyr people from my nation is actually so little. So the companion said, who other than that? Who? The Prophet said, whoever died in the way of Allah, they are being killed in the way of Allah. Those who are the martyr. Whoever waman mata fi sabilillah, whoever died in the way of Allah, not in the war. Maybe the war doesn't start yet. He was going with the army, but suddenly he fell down from his horse or his car and died. Also a martyr. Wal mata fi ta'un, whoever died in a pandemic. Also as a martyr. And also whoever died with a disease inside his stomach is considered as martyr. So when you said about this, the Prophet did say about even people being crushed by the building, people died drowning, people died in a fire. Those people, the Prophet said, is considered as martyr. Considered as martyr. So they actually have that, we say, have that position, even though if you look at it, the way they died is so tragic.
Just like
So,
cancer patient, Doktor.
huh?
Just like cancer patient.
Like the cancer patient also inside that. You don't like it for them, but that is the best for them. Because Allah will give them that rank of reward to become a martyr. So sometimes the face is not really like you like it. Maybe crushed. So you think, oh, this person so gruesome, the way he died, so painful. But that is the way Allah Ta'ala want to give them the good rank in the sight of Allah. So the face sometimes cannot be considered all the way. You can be feeling good about that, but you cannot say that the thing is really happening like that. It's really like that because the hadith is not there. Because from the hadith you know that sometimes if you know Hamzah, the uncle of the Prophet, being cut off his nose, being cut off his stomach when he died. So, but he is actually one of the person that the Prophet said among the dwellers of the paradise. Okay, the third one.
Okay, macam dalam doa istikharah kita diminta untuk berdoa. Allah tahu kita berdoa, Allah tahu dan kita tak tahu kan. Tapi boleh tak kita berdoa supaya kalau benda tu tak baik pun minta Allah beri kebaikan pada benda tu?
Okay, wait. About istikharah, when you make you want Allah to choose for you something, it's actually when you actually asking from Allah the choice, it doesn't mean that the thing that you like is the good things. And also like our sister asked, can we ask the bad thing to become good? That is actually not istikharah. When you ask that you like something, the thing is not good, but you want the thing to be good. That is not istikharah. Istikharah is when you did something, you have choice, whether A or B. You don't know what to do. So you start to ask from Allah. You pray to raka'ah and you do the supplication that been taught by the Prophet. The supplication is the istikharah. So when you supplicate to Allah, asking for Allah to choose for you, you just go and do it. If the thing is not good, Allah Ta'ala will divert you from it. Because that is one of the meaning of the dua. If the thing is good for me, for my religion, for my hereafter, then make it easy for me and make me easy for it. And if the thing is not good for me and for my religion, for my dunya and akhirah, then divert it from me and divert me from it. So the meaning is actually not about you liking something and asking about it to be good. The thing is not good, but may Allah make it good. If something happen, you already inside the problem, then you asking that is okay. Like sometimes a person get married to a person, the person is actually he thought that he's good person, but suddenly when he married, oh the person is bad person. You can ask Allah, oh Allah, please make my marriage be better, make my husband be better. So you asking something to be good is actually it's not wrong. If you inside, that is not called istikharah. It's not called istikharah. Okay?
Ustaz.
No. Sekejap Salam. Ya. Okay. Ada deh. Okay. Apa ni?
Ustaz. Assalamualaikum Ustaz.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay Ustaz, I have a question Ustaz. My favorite rapper had died, and then can we recite Innalillah towards a non-believer?
Oh, our brother said about the calamity of of something happen. The word is actually from the saying of Allah. The word Inna Lillah wa Inna Ilaihi Rajiun is only if the thing happen to the Muslim. Because you recite in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 155, 56. 155, 56. Allah Ta'ala said, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ. Allah Ta'ala will surely test you with a little hunger and also frightening things. وَنَقْسٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ, and also a little, Allah Ta'ala will decrease about your anfusi wal-samarat. وَنَقْسٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالسَّمَرَاتِ, and also decrease among your wealth or among the life of your people around you, and also from the plant that you plant. Wabashiris sabirin. And oh Muhammad, give good tidings, glad tidings to those who have patience. Alladhin idha asabatuhum musibatun, those who when the calamity befell upon them, qalu inna lillah wa inna ilaihi rajiun. They said, inna lillah, we belong to Allah, wa inna ilaihi rajiun, and we towards Allah will be coming back. So that is actually the words that should be said when a person believing Allah, believing in Allah. So you don't ever recite that to a rapper, non-believers rapper who actually died, and you want to say that because maybe the death is actually a blessing. So the youngsters will stop to be actually inside the things that is not for Islam, not be condoned by Islam. RIP also.
But now I don't do anymore for non-Muslim because you cannot say to non-Muslim rest in peace.
Yes.
It belongs to Allah to decide
Yes.
rest in peace or not.
Yes. Actually, but what our brother said that today many people is writing RIP, rest in peace. That is like a supplication for them. And the problem is when a person died as a non-Muslim, then he cannot get that what you say that supplication from us. It's being said in Surah At-Taubah, verse number 113. Allah said, "Maka lin Nabi is not permissible for the Prophet. Walladina amanu, and also those who believe. Ayastaghfiru lilladina ashraku, for them to ask forgiveness for those who are actually making association towards Allah. Walau kanu uli kurba, even though those people are who actually relative towards them, relative to them. Min ba'di ma tabayyan lahum annahum ashabul jahim, after it's clear to them that those people are the dwellers of the hellfire. And how do you know that the person is in the hellfire? Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 161. Allah Ta'ala said, Innal ladina kafaru, those who actually disbeliever, wa matu hum kuffar, and they died as a disbeliever. Ulaika alaihim la'natullah, those people are among them the blasphemy from Allah. Wal malaika, and also the angels, wan nasi ajma'in, and also from all the humankind. Khalidina fiha, they are eternal inside that condemnation from Allah and all angels and the human. La yukhafafun hadab, they will not be ease for them any punishment. Walahum yunsarun, they will not be helped. So because of that, you know that person died as a non-believers, you cannot do. As long as he is alive, you can ask Allah, give guidance to them. Allah guide them when they are alive. And when they are died, you cannot do it anymore. To the family. Yeah. Yeah, actually the condolences for the living relative. You say to them, be patient. If you have anything you want to help for, I'm ready to help you. You comfort the family, the living family. Okay?
So we can just post on the Instagram and say sorry for the loss like that, is it?
No.
Or rest in hell?
No, no, you don't. You actually, the relationship about the sorry is for the family, not the public announcement. You because the person doesn't get any benefit towards Islam. His death may be benefiting to make sure that the youngsters not following his step. So you don't do something like that. Don't do publicly. If you want to say sorry, then say it to the family, not publicly, because I'm not sorry.
Thank you, Ustaz.
Okay. Is there any question there? No. Alhamdulillah, we stop here. Inshallah, I'll continue next week. Next week it will be also because our Sheikh will be coming back around Monday or Tuesday. So he'll be resting. So the Wednesday, inshallah, will be substituting him for the second time, inshallah. Okay, wallahu alam. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa sallam alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.